Warning!
In the mid-2000s, the internet saw the rise of shows like Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd, leading to the popularity of the Angry Reviewer, a genre of internet reviewing that, for a good while, was inescapable, or at least in the film corner of the internet. And this has led to a lot of bad reviews where somebody will just start having a complete meltdown over something that was misconstrued in context, or something that isn't even a big deal. Of course, a lot of people do this as an obvious joke, but there are also people who take it very seriously. It's stupid and immature, but it also makes it so much funnier.
There's nothing but nudity in it. There's nothing but nudity in it. Really. This movie was awful. Really awful. Really. This movie was awful. Really. This movie was so freaking awful. Really. This movie was—
While it seems like the kind of fad that would die off by the mid to late 2010s, the influence is still persistent to this day, especially in the YouTube reviewing landscape. This is what led to the creation of a group in one certain corner of the internet, Super Origami Kingdom. It was an attempt to build a community of people with similar interests who would all come together for some angry review, only for the dominoes to fall in the span of 4 years to where it eventually ceased to exist. Now, I'm fully aware that I'm the 100th person to have talked about this group, not that will stop me from doing so. But this is a subject that I've desperately wanted to talk about ever since I started Terminally Online Reviews last year, a show about internet obscurity and wackiness devoid from the stuff I usually talk about. And we're only on the second episode. And trust me, with the research I've done thanks to one of the former members of SOK reaching out to me granting me access to a lot of archives, I can safely say that this might be one of the most off-the-wall stories I've ever covered. Plus there are details that I don't think I've seen many other videos on SOK cover. Just when you think you know everything, you don't. Before I start, I just want to make it clear that I condemn any harassment towards the people I show in this video. As much as I'm gonna get mean at certain points, it's not a free pass to just go and be asshats toward them regardless of intention. And if I catch any of you doing that kind of bullshit, I will happily dump you into a volcano. And yeah, I have to keep pointing this out because last I checked, none of you people seem to listen. And now, sit back, relax, as I take you through the tale of how one small group of autistics went crazy and lost everything in an instant. Welcome to the Super Origami Kingdom.
We get endless torture, many pitiful attempts at making jokes solely for cheap laughs, and they fail at it!
88 kills! This is a cartoon film, and it has more kills than horror movies! Okay, Conrad and Greg, what the f***?
You done all those hurtful things to us innocent people, and you deserve worse!
And that's why we're going to rent on a user.
So, here they are!
Terminally Online Reviews.
On May 21st, 2019, a new channel would open up by the name of Dogs Eating Dog 6, later Super DD6 Galaxy. The first two videos uploaded by James, his public real name by the way, would be recordings of Family Guy clips off of his TV. Then his third video would be a mashup of Guy Gets His theme from Earthbound that's just an amalgamation of two pre-existing edits of it. James would then center his content around mashups of video game music, mostly Mario RPGs and Paper Mario, cementing himself as the mashup guy. Except they aren't really mashups, they're just poorly made lyrical covers made by different people with bad mixing and sometimes out of sync and out of key singing.
Let my echoes break your mind. Hear this voice inside. Prepare to face my fury. You are no match against the new me.
Sister, who do you think kept this war off you when with Mario traveling? Now the time finally has come.
Hail to the Origami King!
He's basically trying to replicate Juno's songs and Man on the Internet, not to much success, but Juno did give James a shout at one point, which is pretty cool, I guess. Though if you want to see a real mashup, I'm sure Silvergun cooked up something today. Then sometime in September of 2021, James would partner up with two users he collaborated with on mashups, being Nio and Mr. L Productions, to create a private Discord server that would eventually lead to the birth of the Super Origami Kingdom YouTube channel on September 18th of that year, and as stated in James's promo for it, it took inspiration from a group L was in, even ran, named Chaos Theory, and from the few videos I've seen, I can tell SOK was nothing like it at all, even with the comparison he made for some reason.
Hello there, says the Star Wars memes, and I'm here to say, subscribe to Super Origami Kingdom! What is it, you may ask? Well, it's a bit like Chaos Theory, except that one had 4 members. This, on the other hand, will have 8.
The first video uploaded by SOK was a CinemaSin style video on Hotel Mario, the Philips CDI game that's been memed to death.
When you pinch Wendy's pennies, they pinch gay Luigi.
With it being narrated by James and Niall, as well as 2 newcomers, Tamatoa Gaming Dot and SPM Fangirl, who would later go by Multi-Fandom Fangirl. The video itself isn't very noteworthy, and I don't even think there's a point where it tries to be funny at all.
I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
What if she doesn't, Luigi? Will you throw a tantrum?
Niall and Fangirl would then do their own separate rant videos on the channel, with the latter talking about Food Fight, a movie universally hated, and another named Fish and Chips, a movie you probably didn't even know existed up until this very moment I'm telling you it does, and the former dedicating his video to Norm of the North, a movie you probably forgot existed up until this very moment I'm telling you it does. Again, these videos are nothing to note, but they both include endings that would become common in the kingdom, with the bad movie or show receiving some sort of punishment, either it be death by the AT-AT walkers or having Count Bleck sucked into the void. And it feels like they're mandated because these would be shoved into every SOK related rant. The first collaborative review in the kingdom was centered around Ice Age Collision Course. The one after that was a review of Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania. And this is the review people talk about the most when it comes to this channel because A, this featured the most members, and B, it is literally a stereotype of every Super Origami Kingdom video ever. First thing to note is that all of them are PNGs, most of them being recolors of pre-existing characters. Like, that's cringe. An artist making their channel avatar a pre-existing character that's just tweaked to make it original? That's stupid. How could somebody find semi-success on YouTube for it? What? As well as them having their waifus or dynamite gals join the review. There's also the fact that all of them are taking this movie way too seriously. Now, I've yelled at bad kids movies before on this channel. While I think the ones I've talked about are god-awful and annoyed me to some degree, my reactions to them are not genuine. They're exaggerated. I have these scenes of me crashing out over characters acting stupid because I thought they were funny. It's called comedy. And I have made myself clear on this plenty of times. SOK is different because this is not just some act of theirs. They are genuinely mauling over this stupid movie.
Cody literally went out of his own way to try to kill Tag! Jesus Christ!
Again, we are talking about the Surf's Up sequel starring the WWE. They also admit they're doing this video only because Schaefer's talked about the movie, who it seems they rely a lot on.
I just want to say, if Schaefer's Productions never made a Sony Animation movie ranking, we would have forgotten that this commercial even exists. So, subscribe to him when you get the chance.
I guess I should probably ask, are any of these guys' opinions actually their own? They're just parroting the takes of other famous YouTube critics in nearly the exact same way except anime waifu. During the movie, there's a scene where Vince McMahon as an otter dreams about sucking on a fish's anus with a straw. When the Super Origami Kingdom saw this, they all got sick and proceeded to rant about it
For 5 minutes!
in 23 seconds. I mean, yeah, I think the gag is really damn disgusting, but
unlike my colleagues here, I don't actually care for this. It's a literal 2 or so second gag for the adults. Kids, you don't get it. So, what's the problem? I don't see it. And you are all overreacting.
yeah, you see, he gets it. Wait, I'm convinced that if these guys saw a single second of Watership Down, they're gonna be put in a damn casket. There's also lots of moments where you can't comprehend a single thing they're saying because they have this obnoxious G major demonic effect added for their dark egos.
Alright guys, I determined to feel the anger
form because you might want to see what happened to Undertaker when he can finally breathe.
And yes, this overreacting towards Mia persists in the rest of this channel's videos. I mean, they did an entire list of the top 10 scariest villains that are pure nightmare fuel, and in it they said that Jigsaw, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Jaws, and even King Ramses from Courage the Cowardly Dog aren't as scary as Lotso Hug and Bear from Toy Story 3. To be fair, Lotso's placed at the very top, but Lotso. Scarier than Pennywise from It. And you expect me to take that seriously? Then they come together for a third group rant on that recent Thomas the Tank Engine cartoon, and why it's a whole new low for Thomas Finch. Oh god. I'm not saying you can't criticize shows made for little kids. I mean, Caillou's a fucking war criminal. Kids deserve to have good stories and characters no matter the age. But the majority of the criticisms in the video are a goddamn nothing burger. I think the shift in tone from the original show is less upsetting to them than the show being a cartoon.
Look at this moment where Thomas, Percy, and Nia are standing around a campfire. What the f is this? Oh my god! Who thought this was acceptable to defy the laws of physics?
There they go again! With more realism!
Also, I wasn't really kidding when I said earlier that they weren't playing this for the giggles. Many of the members' Discord servers had channels entirely dedicated to hating on whatever thing made them mad that day, including movies and shows they reviewed, obviously labeled hate channels. It's useless information, but I thought it'd be worth knowing to prove that, yes, they are actually tweaking the fuck out over something like a train cartoon for babies. I don't know, man, whenever grown-ass adults in their late 20s shit themselves over baby shows, it's always entertaining. I swear when the CoComelon movie comes out, it's gonna be an absolute spectacle of middle-aged nobody cartoon reviewers making unhinged rants on it. If you haven't taken the hint by now, and I'd be surprised if that's the case, just about everyone involved with Super Origami Kingdom is on the autism spectrum. And again, I should remind you that, as someone on the spectrum myself, I'm not here to shit on them just for being autistic. They have a plethora of other problems we'll get to that aren't caused by their autism. I mean, going back to the Logo Kids episode, the only time I was actually critical was when users, yes, they go by that sometimes, were making spoiler remixes of real tragedies and putting real children and characters crying playlists. I guess while I'm at it, is it too late to say that I kinda regret my crying fetish comment in my Logo Kids video? Yeah, I'm genuinely sorry, that was a horrible choice of words I used there. I mean, I should probably apologize for that whole video at this point because I like it less and less the more I rewatch it. But other than that, I was mostly nice to them, with most of the roasting just being for fun. You can laugh at this kind of stuff without actually being a bully, you know? In fact, some of the comments I've gotten telling me how certain interests I've mentioned help them cope, or how just being a Logo Kid got them into a big career like graphic design, have been pretty touching. I mentioned Super Origami Kingdom's autism to give context as to why fanfiction recolors are seething over a kids movie. So I guess now I can actually talk about the people involved. I'm not gonna get into all of them because a lot of the members have had low involvement with us, okay? But I would like to focus on the ones I consider the most significant. So let's get the obvious out of the way first. Dogs eating other dogs 66-6. I've already discussed James's music mashups, which aren't good. He also made a 6-part musical adaptation of Paper Mario the Origami King, and it's basically what you expect if you've seen any of his lyrical covers he had a hand in.
When I went on a big trip through the Great Sea, it was such a breeze, it was fun, I loved the run, and had buddies who were just like me, but then this monster came and attacked the ship, so I did my thing, but then my fuse fell off of me.
Also, I shit you not, he calls himself the master of editing unironically, and his rant videos aren't any better. His first rant video was on 1997's Batman Robin. First thing you're gonna notice is that he's British.
Bat nipples!
And also, he does a miserable job at trying to hide how much he's blatantly copying the nostalgia critic.
A bat credit card! A bat credit card? Are you s***ing me?
This review would serve as the grounding structure for what would be not just his second rant, but also his most infamous video. Or at least one of them. Why Modern Family Guy is a cartoon disgrace. This is probably my favorite of his. I'll be fair and say that he does bring up some good points on Modern Family Guy, like the characters being flanderized and a lot of the humor being repetitive, but it's the way he presents it that torpedoes any seriousness it deserves. He proceeds to dedicate his entire video going back and forth between this nice and calm voice voice explain what made Family Guy so great in the past, to then screaming at the top of his lungs on why the show is now dog shit. And yes, it's the whole video.
That's what used to be so great about Peter. He was a very relatable and three-dimensional character and a loving husband and father. But now...
He's also very hypocritical, that and or I don't think he actually checks his videos before uploading them.
Stock footage or live-action footage does not match with Family Guy. If this was South Park or SpongeBob, I could easily understand, since it works much better in those shows.
So, are you gonna elaborate on that point? Are you even gonna try and explain why it's okay for shows like South Park and SpongeBob to use real-life footage, but Family Guy can't? No. There's an entire section where he complains about Meg being tortured too much in the modern seasons, despite how he defends the moments of torture in season 4. I guess it's acceptable to torture Meg before season 5 is what you're saying. Nope! Somehow a minute later he's walking it all back and saying that those moments were awful too.
Sure, in season 4 Meg was picked on a bit, but when Peter sold her, it was as a last resort. Also, when they forgot Meg in Jungle Love, was just Peter not being the brightest person out there. In Jungle Love, when Meg is on the phone with the rest of the family, they all desperately try to avoid her. In 8 Simple Rules for Buying My Teenage Daughter, he sold his daughter out for slave labor to the Goldmans to pay off a tab he couldn't pay.
So Meg abuse before season 5 is fine, but it's also a problem that counts towards the modern seasons, despite the fact that you're saying that season 4 was one of the good ones before the show got bad, but now you're technically grouping it in with the modern seasons, and dude, what the f is it? Do you have some doy-ass amnesia that we don't know about?
Make this trend stop, or I'll rip your f***ing heart out!
This is the same guy that's cried in the same video about how the show is being too violent, and now he's threatening the writers because...
Meg is one of my favorite characters on the show! She's cute, loving, and needs a kiss or a hug!
Dog, you are so lucky that Meg is canonically over 18 now, otherwise this will look bad on you. Now we're led to what might be my favorite moment to come out of this guy.
Let's face it, this show has been on
for way too long! It needs to be cancelled for real! I'm done with this atrocity! Do you hear me? Done! Stop! Cancel the show! Now! You're not cool, or edgy, or unique, or any of that shit!
Yes, cause I'm certain Seth and the heads at Fox will take your kind request to heart. And then...
No! It's pathetic! It's pretentious! Multi-Family Guy is everything I loathe in a cartoon! I hate it! I hate it!
We win!
Thank you, Rosalina. You are one dynamite gal.
Okay, I think we've seen enough of this video, but I think I need to address this. No, we're not getting to that yet. If it wasn't apparent from his intro and his channel branding, James's fictional crush is Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy, which he labels his dynamite gal, the kingdom's word for waifu. And yes, they are using the exact phrase that originated in Wreck-It Ralph.
You are one dynamite gal. One dynamite gal. Dynamite gal. Dynamite gal. Dynamite gal.
Almost everyone in Super Origami Kingdom has a dynamite gal, and for some reason they keep dragging them into videos it seems like they want no part in. And it's making me feel for PGs of anime characters, cause it looks and sounds like they're dying inside as they watch their partners yelling at the WWE surfing movie. I don't know, I just find it funny. He loves Rosalina so much that he dedicated an entire angry rant toward how she was ruined by Super Mario... Logan. Oh no. Why SML Rosalina is not the Rosalina I know and love. First of all, no Sherlock. SML is literally a crude parody of these characters, so of course they're not gonna be like their actual counterparts. I mean, do you even know what channel you're talking about? Why are you acting so surprised? Second, this might be the epitome of James's love for Rosalina, as throughout the video in multiple instances, he's talking as if he's really dating her. It's actually insane.
But still ultimately a sweetheart. Well, Mario's sweetheart, but not to me. The real Rosalina is my sweetheart. I mean, we have pizza like once a week. We always order online. idiot!
He's just repeating himself during the whole video like he does with most of his other ones, just screaming the same points over and over again to where you can hear him starting to lose his voice.
Oh my god! Rosalina, my true love! Cover my ears! This is agony! Gah! I can't take it anymore!
Yeah, we get it, dude. You think this version of Rosalina from a Plush channel is a moron. Maybe be less concerned about how SML ruined your favorite character and more so on how SML ruined an entire generation of children. Also, don't forget Logan is a goddamn toad. Oh, I almost forgot to bring up how this dude Sona is a recolor of King Ollie from the before mentioned Paper Mario the Origami King. Sometimes he's portraying himself, other times he's playing the character. He even has a sub-series on this channel named The King Ollie Show where he makes the same exact content as he usually does, except he's playing King Ollie from Paper Mario, guys. But don't be fooled, it's just James hiding under a character whom he uses to express his opinions on stuff. It's also his regular voice with a slightly altered accent and tone, so there's that as well.
If you couldn't tell by the intro, the theme song is a parody of The Cleveland Show, as well as the instrumental being a fusion of The Cleveland Show and The Garfield Show.
But let's look at what the series actually has to offer. Episode 1, the top 10 worst villains ever. Now, this is a very complicated one because he's not very consistent with his list. Not only does he group together villains from both kids and mature pieces of media, but he also hates some villains for the way they're written and executed, like Snoke from The Last Jedi, Jafar from the Aladdin remake, Guy Gagné from Turbo, and Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, and others for the things they do, like Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter and Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. I mean, if they're threatening and have a good motive to be evil, then I'd say they're doing their job pretty well. What? Yeah, see what you made me do? You made me indirectly compliment and defend Harry Potter for a second there. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm insulting your interest here, I'm not. But if you can't handle certain movies and shows and think they're bad because they're too mature for your liking, then just go back to playing with your fucking Thomas toys, man. His next few episodes are about his top 5 best and worst final bosses, and then the top 8 best and worst Mario bosses, which, okay, it's nice for James to have talk about something he likes for a change. But sadly, the Mario bosses episode was the 4th and final episode of the King Ollie Show. Now wait a minute, doesn't it say episode 3? Well yeah, it does, but it's actually not the real episode 3. James might have had plans to make this one the 3rd episode, but then suddenly...
You're all very kind and caring people, and you're all my friends to give me support. Except you, Omni Kings! You are very ungrateful! Especially you, Brayden! Rot in the depths of hell!
Ah yes, the trio of the devils known as Omni King Brayden, Piplup, and Ender. Pure evil. The most dastardly villains ever in the history of Super Origami Kingdom. They are the spawn of Satan. They've killed your parents. They eat babies for dinner. And yeah, if you're confused and want answers, I don't know either. Apparently, James got into beef with these little children. Okay, just to clarify, Brayden's the only one actually confirmed to be a kid. The rest are up for speculation, but he assumes they're all little kids, so let's just go off of that. All because they said his videos were bad, called them mean, called him poo-poo head. And naturally James, a grown-ass man by the way, responded by doing this 2-hour video on them where he threatens to fight them, insults their videos, treats them like they're fictional villains. I am not keen on that last part, by the way.
I mean, there's one-dimensional villains, but then there's minus 50-dimensional villains! They are all dumb idiots with no story, no motive, no reason, and no background checks, and therefore cannot be considered legit people.
This dude is not making it out of the streets.
There's one example where Brayden bullies Super Mario Logan by threatening him to delete his channel by boosting his ego to the point where he drives Logan himself to Jesus!
Oh no. These children want to burn my plushies and delete my channel? What a horrible thing to say. I'm ruined. I have no reason to live, so I might as well kill myself.
He sings the worst renditions of In the Final I've ever heard in my life. What the hell even is this? A childish version of Juno songs that ran on the internet? Is that what it sounds like? Even the lyrics are stolen from Juno songs that ran on the internet.
You put effort into your videos? Ha! Your effort is non-existent! The memes have already been dead and overused!
Didn't expect you to call yourself out, but okay.
So, he's trying to steal ideas and copy content without permission! You know, copying someone's content and stealing someone's audio without permission can get you into a lot of trouble! That's plagiarism!
You're not gonna believe what he does right after. And I mean immediately after saying this.
Do you know why Juno Songs commented positively on Dogs Eating Dog 6's in the final version 3? Because Dogs Eating Dog 6 earned it. He earned his success to gain the title Mashup Guy, and at least he's giving credit.
You wanna know why Zero to Hero is such a satisfying song other than it freaking slaps? Because Hercules earned it. He earned his success, and he continues to earn it throughout the course of the song.
And this ain't the first time he's done this either.
This is without doubt the worst twist villain I've ever seen, as he's on the same level as the Paul Blart Mall Cop twist villain!
It's honestly the worst twist villain I've ever seen in a feature film. This movie's twist villain is on the same level as the Paul Blart Mall Cop twist villain.
Dude, I know you want to be him so bad, but could you at least do a better job at hiding it?
He even said he was gay! How disgusting can he get? But if I'm saying it's disgusting that you're only attracted to males, then that makes you a homophobic!
Dude, if you're gonna make these videos, try having a damn coffee, because I don't think you know what you're talking about.
What other sites does he have besides YouTube? Let me type it in and see what comes up. Alright, Piplup fan 0001. What's he got? Okay, the characters can eat other characters and...
Wait. What? What? No. No.
Will you excuse me for a couple of minutes? My reaction will not take things well.
What is wrong with you?
What was literally the point of talking about his DeviantArt? This has nothing to do with anything, dude. And it's entirely irrelevant to the discussion you're trying to have here. You know, come to think of it, I might be big enough to have my name pop up on the— Jesus Christ!
What the f***? He's calling a person he despises a ningen? Ningen? How do you pronounce that word? Because I really don't. Okay, from what I looked up, it's Japanese for human beings. But at first, I thought this word is the Omni King Piplup equivalent of the N-word. First off, making people's ears bleed is not funny. It's annoying, loud, and painful to watch. There are people with very sensitive hearing! Just as horrible as Lois Griffin's voice from Family Guy.
Yes, cause it's not like you've been screaming your lungs off this entire video and almost every other video beforehand. Then he proceeds to do this entire 40-minute segment where he punishes the kids' channels, with over half of that runtime dedicated to a compilation of Talentale videos for whatever reason. Also, yes, he directly said in the video he's punishing their channels instead of the actual kids themselves because it's actual bullying and we don't do that in real life.
And before you say anything, no, we don't beat up children, because that would be considered child abuse and actual bullying. Farewell to your ugly, filthy, lousy, lying, low-down, fake rat faces forever!
You already know how I felt about the Omni King brats, as they will all die in the most painful death. He's gonna give us pain? I'll give him pain. Ha! Death to the imposters that call themselves Omni Kings. They brought me and my friends so much pain, and they are going to pay. And by pain, I mean death. Man, I hate being sick. The video, as expected, received a negative reaction, and it would take James nearly a year to actually apologize for it. Even when his fourth, later rebranded third, King Ollie episode released a month earlier has him still fuming over the kids in the opening. But he did, apologize. An important message from Mashup Guy. You can tell this is super serious as the thumbnail shows his King Nari recolor crying, with deep, emotional, intense words around the screen showing how he feels. Shame, guilt, the indignity, anguish, grief, deprave, pity, remorse, regret, sorrow, lament, sadness, sorry. And in the background, it's raining the streets, with it being the exact same from the thumbnail as Nintendo has forgotten about Mario. Oh, this is gonna be a treat. He starts it off by glowing about his channel, and he even called himself the Gordon Ramsay of rant videos. And also let everyone know that his channel name, Dog6, is based off a Blink-182 song. Yeah, if you didn't know then, now you know.
I only did it because I only wanted their channels gone and framed my caring friends, who were also grown-ups, for something they didn't even do and told lies as I made a video to get back at them for revenge.
Allow me to rephrase that for you. You got upset because some children on the internet hurt your feelings, so you made it to our rant video on them to flaunt your insecurities and your ego. And it's normal to be insecure, but what isn't normal is to threaten little kids over it.
This is my own fault. All of this is. Even after the video got criticized, and I felt very sad and depressed because of the backlash I got, it was the worst mistake that I've ever made, and I shouldn't have been so nasty to kids nor made that video in the first place.
Your friends were literally advising you not to make that video and you didn't listen to them. Also, you said in that video yourself that you knew it would be a bad idea to make an entire video screaming at children, yet you decided to do it anyway. And you're shocked that the gun's shooting right back at you?
But now, I regret everything.
It took you almost a year in backlash to regret everything.
I felt guilt for them, and I can assure you all that I won't yell at kids in the future, I promise.
And not get so butthurt when people call you out for being an asshole?
I've learnt 2 things today. 1, kids are not so bad after all, just let them do their own thing, I guess.
What exactly did you think of kids beforehand?
And 2, and the biggest thing I've learnt, is that 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Is now a good time to let everyone know that this dude is 28 years old currently, meaning that he was 24 when he made the Omni Kings video? That's still older than I currently am.
The whole screaming at kids and exposing their channel shtick has come to a close, and it has to be that way. That's the way it has to be.
Cowabunga, dude. Okay, but why are you acting like people are actually sad about this?
I don't expect you to forgive me for what I did. But I really am sorry. I swear from the bottom of my heart that I'll never do it ever again in the future. And I decided quite rightfully to remove that video from my channel because I felt guilt, shame, and remorse for my actions. It's due to my colleagues not affording more bad publicity of exposing kids' channels, and of course I really didn't like to talk about it.
So you say you were truly sorry, but then immediately revealed that you're only sorry because your friends were facing backlash.
I don't want to live my life in fear and have horrible nightmares. I really need support and a hug.
No, what you really need is your internet access revoked.
I'm not perfect. Nobody is better than one or the other. The only difference is that I have the courage to admit that nobody's perfect. Does anyone else have the courage? If so, why don't you just come on up here and join me?
Dude, holy shit. Can you actually take anything seriously, like, at all? You got in trouble for being a loony towards kids who did nothing other than act like little dipshits, and you respond by guilt tripping and manipulating your audience and making it about yourself? Wait, why am I even shocked?
So the moral of the story is that 2 wrongs do not make a right.
You said that already. Shit, I might actually be onto something here.
It's 2023 now, and I've learned that kids aren't so bad after all, as I'm back to being more positive for a fresh new start, and about to plan more projects more than ever. We shall focus on the future and remain strong forever.
Sure. We'll get to that later. Then he caps off the apology by again promoting his upcoming videos, some of them like rants on racist Mario and Activision that never actually happened. Jazzington, get out there while you still can, dude! And that's it. The video only exists in re-upload form now, and I think that should say everything about how it went for him. But you know, at least he wanted to try and genuinely apologize to these people. This was a far from great apology, don't get me wrong, but he made the effort to correct course, and I honestly have to commend him for that. Anyway, sometime later, the video was removed by YouTube for violating their guidelines. Go figure. And it wouldn't take much longer for James to get into more deep shit. But first...
Who are these guys?
Starting off with Niall the Hero Boy, or just Niall, who is one of the founding members of Super Origami Kingdom. Niall's avatar is just a recolor of Mario, where he proceeds to act like he's an actual Mario character.
I had so many awesome adventures.
As mentioned before, he's done a solo rant on Norm of the North, but he's also done one on the Emoji Movie. Wait, people still talk about that thing? And ranking the final stages of the Mario and Luigi games. I don't have anything to really say about these videos, well except his Norm video did give us this really funny bit.
Norm is a psychopath. Stay away from Norm as far as you can.
Then you have Mr. O Productions, another founding member of SOK, and has surprisingly only done one rant on the channel. That being of Tom Cruise's The Mummy, and even then it's a pretty chill review. And again, this was his only contribution to the channel aside from being the founder. He doesn't even appear in the group reviews, though he does have his own channel where he uploads YTPs and episodes of his own podcast. Then you have SBM Fangirl, later known as Multi-Fandom Fangirl, who, as I said earlier, did an entire rant on food fighting fish and chips, and also joined the group in a rant on Ice Age 5, with her avatar at the time being what I assume is what she looks like in real life, but Paper Mario-ified. But her most notorious contribution was when she voiced both Mami Tomoe and Nagi-san Momoe, both from an anime named Madoka Magica, acting as Tamatoa Gaming Doll's love interest in the Surf's Up 2 review and a few other videos of his.
Hello, and I'm Mami Tomoe. Tamatoa Gaming does love interest. Nice to meet all of you. And I'm Nagi-san Momoe. Hi everyone!
So, I should probably mention that Tamatoa was likely 18 around this time, and both of these characters are as old as 15 and as young as 8. Don't worry, it gets much worse than that, but we're gonna have to save that for later. Cause now I wanna get to people I haven't already mentioned. Nathan Files, also going by Nathan the Casual Gamer. His only direct contribution to SOK was his appearances on the group reviews, and everything else was on his own channel. Fun fact by the way, a few of Nathan's rants, like Ice Age 5 and Surf's Up 2, were done way before SOK did their videos on the movies. So, did they just steal Nathan's ideas? Did he ask them to copy his videos? Were these rants long in development before Nathan made his videos, so he just stole their thunder, though I can't imagine these took long to make? I don't know, man, this is already tiring me out. Though one of his more infamous moments has to do with his review of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, where he said this.
I know the critics didn't like this movie, but hey, what did you expect? This movie doesn't follow the woke agenda of modern cinema. Hell, this as well as The Last Wish are really giving Disney a run for their money, which is really satisfying to see.
I see you're interested in the business of grifting. Alright, here's your mentor I'm hooking you up with. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Good luck! Smash Alex 21 portrays himself using a character from one of the Ace Attorney games with, as far as I'm aware, his first and only appearance on the channel being on the Surf's Up 2 review. And not gonna lie, he might be the best one out of the entire crew in an unironic sense, mainly for how chill he actually is. He actually provides insightful critiques instead of going full Emballoom in the whole video over a Thomas the Tank Engine cartoon. He's like the everyman you see in those movies that's surrounded by a bunch of nonsensical goofballs.
Punishments? Really? You're on your own on that one. I can't stop you, so have fun. My work here is done. And these are now my colleagues.
I like this guy. He's one of the very few sane members of the group. There's also Jurassic Verse 64, who is portrayed with a PNG of a fucking T-Rex with his dynamite gal being Lucina from Fire Emblem. Please don't think about it too much. You know I had two ideas for jokes here, but I couldn't quite figure out which one to use. So f it, I'm just gonna play both of them.
Don't move. You can't see us if we don't move.
Asteroid impact.
Brace yourself! This is it! They're not gonna make it! They're not gonna make it!
He hasn't done anything wild, well aside from something we're about to get to. And nowadays he just does gaming videos on his solo channel, which... cool. Speaking of dinosaurs though, this leads me to Jason Gomez, a blue recolor of Littlefoot from Land Before Time, and his waifu being Princess Luna from My Little Pony, voiced by his real-life girlfriend. Okay, Jason can pull some, but I can't. What kind of rig game is this? However, Jason being a favorite of many isn't because of his contributions to the channel, and some of his Discord interactions being the funniest thing in the world. Zach just asked if we can't call Jason a dog, then can we call him a horsey? No. He's a dinosaur. I know, it's in his name. Then don't make fun of him. Don't make me angry, J-Dog. I'm warning you. I swear to God, if someone calls me... If someone calls me a dog, I'll put you all in a timeout. Wait, they're just removing violent community post? What does violent... It's mostly because of what he posts on his own channel, being random Poppy Playtime Go anime Disney fanfiction and...
He is right. Prepare to be punished! This is what you get for hurting my mom and dad!
Oh no.
Oh my god. Soccer ball bro. Why did you do that?
Because Santa says I can't get presents cues, I'm on the naughty list. Also, why does your voice sound like James?
Because I had my voice changed. And that gives you no right to burn down the tree.
Okay, I think you get it now. But then you have someone by the name of Astro Boy Productions. Oh, Astro.
How? Freaking? Anime VTuber, you better be prepare yourself what Astro is going to say about you.
With his only channel contribution being on the group rant of the Thomas cartoon, which he did a solo rant on less than 7 months before the SOK video. Okay, seriously, Astro is most known for his actions on his main channel. Two of the most notorious examples are one video where he made a 9/11 tribute that's just a slideshow of characters crying. If you've seen those DeviantArt or Crossover Kid tribute videos, then you get the idea of what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna completely shit on this because I would sound like an utter hypocrite considering I've used my avatar while talking over serious stuff in the past when it wasn't the most appropriate, so I'm gonna shut my mouth on that part. I still think shit like this is pretty goddamn corny though. I can't shake the feeling that all of these tribute posts imply that these characters know about these things.
Avengers!
More Charlie Cook. Come to think of it, how would they even learn about what happened on that day?
Thank you, Mario. I'm not playing this at the tower. Mamma mia.
But Astro's most infamous moment comes in the form of the exact same thing that got James in trouble before, except the other way around, where instead of one grown man targeting a group of little kids, it's a group of almost grown-ass adults targeting this one teenager. Why anime VTuber Catboy Jose Me is a criminal. Why do I even do this? From what I can tell, these guys got into beef with this kid all because he made a video mocking SOK as well as some other dumb bullshit. And while I can verify, thanks to an anecdote from a mutual of mine, that this Jose kid was being a dunce, it did not warrant an hour-long... Do I even need to explain at this point? Astro brings on people like Jason Gomez, Jurassicverse...
You dare call them out for something they didn't even do? And you get off scot-free!
And not before mentioned members like Pedram Does Stuff and Rohan Games, taking turns blasting this dude like a group of school thugs each having a shot at beating up the new kid. And at one point, Rohan tells Jose to off himself despite everyone else saying they're against exactly that.
And do you know what that could lead to?
Do you know what bullying does?
Do you know what bullying does?
Bullying could lead to suicide!
Go kill yourself!
Granted, both Pedram and Rohan were minors at the time of this video, but I still think the inclusion says a lot. Pedram's segment, by the way, is some unedited 144p recording of him looking at Anime VTuber's channel, trying to call a hell of a boss character, and then roleplays as Spamton. Oh my god, it's awkward! Yeah, nearly forgot to mention it's also have a cavalcade of random characters as well, like Goku, Shadow, Princess Luna, and Mega Man. Probably to make the group look bigger than it already is, but no, it's still an unhinged group of autist baby raging over some nobody saying they suck.
Me might say this because this user's name had the letter anime. So does this mean that this user hates all anime?
So, let's recap. Anime VTuber Catboy Jose Me is a criminal because he disrespects opinions.
This user is also the opinion basher because he never agreed on my friend's opinions during the rants on every bad movies that we have never supposed to watch. This user also hates one of the most iconic animated series that was made from Japan.
Steals content.
This isn't funny! Yeah!
Post cringe. By the way, that's a furry porn star. Makes up lies.
Check this out. This is what anime VTubers said about Dog City Dog 6 by calling him evil.
And is a boy. Makes sense to me. The video generated a lot of backlash as expected because nobody learned from the Omni King situation, but nowadays it looks like both sides have reconciled with each other, with Astro Boy publicly apologizing and Jose taking down every SOK video he made, so yay. And now we come to a member that I have saved for last, and for those who know the Super Origami Kingdom lore, you can probably guess who it is and unfortunately know why. This is Tamatoa Gaming Da, personified by, you guessed it, a poorly drawn Tamatoa disguised as Mario. Man, Schaefer can't catch a break, can he? The dude has been with the group since the very beginning, being a part of most of the group rants, sometimes voices Bowser.
Such is part of your say? Oh, how I hate that movie! I wanna burn it!
And of course his own solo rants. His first one being on the R-rated anime film Sausage Party. And yes, I point out the obvious R rating. That's because the crab is solely mad at this movie just because it's adult and it does adult stuff like murder, drugs, and sex. I would tell him to go back to playing with his Mario plushies, but what's so ironic about this is that the dude has openly said he's a JoJo fan.
I'm still a JoJo fan, in which I recently uploaded my Sonochino Sun makeover for my birthday special.
Obviously, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, it's just, you gotta choose your battles, man. Also, I think Tamatoa is homophobic.
What is she? A lesbian? I have no words for her, and I don't even want to talk about the word lesbian because I'm not the kind of guy who sees lesbians.
And the other is an over hour-long rant about why the Super Mario Bros. 1993 movie and modern SML are not Mario. He first spent 7 minutes of the video talking about how the 1993 Mario movie is a bad adaptation of the source material, which is a completely valid argument, even if it was shown that his media literacy is absolute dog shit.
It turned out that inside the mysterious object was an egg, but this is not how human life begins. The Mario Brothers are humans. The directors had to screw up reality by making Mario and Luigi born from an egg. How and why did you f*** up reality?
For context, this is the opening of the movie where it shows a baby girl being born out of an egg, who is later revealed to be Daisy, because in this universe she is descended from the dinosaurs who evolved into a human race, after a meteor 66 million years ago split the universe into parallel dimensions, which also explains why the Koopas look like my sleep paralysis demon. It's nonsense. I know, but I'm having a hard time believing he actually watched the movie because it's spelled out right at the beginning. Or maybe he really is that dumb, he did mention realism. And for the remaining hour, he lists his top 10 reasons as to why SML is not Mario. Okay, I don't want to repeat myself, but this is actually fucking stupid. Dog, no shot that SML isn't like the real Mario. It's parody. Don't get me wrong, I hate SML more than I hate myself, but like, what were you expecting? And I'm looking at this video and there is so much where I don't even think he knows what he's talking about. Like in one instance, he's talking about the crew making puppet versions of themselves and it leads to him going on a brief side tangent about the Ugly Dolls movie for some reason. There's no correlation whatsoever, but I guess he needed an excuse to rant about it even though he could have done a whole separate video on the movie. But whatever, right? He's just another cringe reviewer who's a poor man Schaefer's Productions. What's the big deal? Well, it just so happened that something would be later revealed that would send shockwaves across the entire kingdom, and it was the crack that brought it all crumbling down. So, this video has been mostly lightheartedly poking fun at Super Origami Kingdom's videos, but this is where I have to remind you that this is also about their history. As out of nowhere of a tone change this may be, and I know I'm kind of falling back on my word when it comes to talking about topics like this, I unfortunately cannot talk about SOK's story without mentioning what went down with Tamatoa Gaming Da, and unfortunately it's something actually horrible. The following portion of this video is gonna touch on serious subject matter, so please keep the trigger warnings in mind, and if you don't want to hear about this, then I suggest skipping to the timestamp shown on screen. Otherwise, you are watching at your own risk. One more thing I'd like to mention is that there are certain details regarding this that are simply alleged by the accusers. Come to your own conclusions if you may, but some parts of the story are first-hand testimony. So with that said, this is the timeline of events that I can piece together. Sometime around August of 2023, the group found out that Tamatoa Gaming Doll had drawn fetish comics of original characters and self-inserted minors, who also just so happen to be members of SOK, on Roblox in a game called Free Draw. Free Draw has had its own multitude of controversies, like the entirety of Roblox at this point, though that is an entirely different discussion, so I'd recommend checking out Fooly Ghouly's video if you want more details, but this game was where Tamatoa, through his now presumably defunct account, would display very predatory behavior. While the fetish comics were thankfully never archived, the descriptions of some of them are very disturbing. Tamatoa would also make very inappropriate remarks toward the two victims, including saying at one point that one of their self-inserts had a nice ass. While Tamatoa was 16 or 17 around the time this all went down, both victims were under the legal age of consent in the United States, which is where all three of them reside, especially the crab. Of the two victims was the Doge Queen, who was 14 at the time. His only video appearance with the group was DD6's Scariest Villains list, where Tamatoa was also present. The other, who goes by Soapy Soap, or Sophie, was 10 years old. While she never made a video appearance, she was behind the stills of James's Kinari recolor that you see in some of his pre-rebrand videos. There are other screenshots from Tamatoa's Roblox DMs where he was messaged by someone who confronted him over drawing said comics because of Sophie's age, and another one where he made Sophie's avatar 14 despite acknowledging she was much younger, which implies he knew how old the victims were the whole time. And according to Sophie, Tamatoa messaged her on Discord on her 11th birthday showing her the Free Draw comics again, asking if she remembered it, again implying that he knew her age. Tamatoa would begin to privately apologize for his actions in early 2023, but it wasn't until August when a user by the name of Gusty Guy would leak info about the crab, eventually reaching the leaders of SOK. After this was revealed, Tamatoa was swiftly removed from the group in an instant, and everyone cut all contact with him. However, this would be a permanent stain on the reputation of the group, as just by unknowingly having a child predator be part of the channel since the beginning was enough for everything to start falling apart. But regardless, James and everyone else tried their best to keep everything afloat, all the while learning from this, and okay, I shouldn't be playing this up, that's not at all what happened. After Tamatoa got out to the group, it took them not days, not weeks, months. It took them 3 months to boot him from the group. And not only that, but some of the main members were actively defending him all the way up until his ban. One of them being our main character, James. James's initial reaction upon hearing about it was to keep T on for the reasons he states as follows. Yes indeed, something must be done, but none of us know what. The answer is not kicking him out because that is unfair for him, as he's a close friend to me. Sadly, Cosmo isn't here right now. But look on the bright side. At least Tamatoa is not like Glenn Quagmire from Family Guy who obsesses over mommy 24/7 the worst way possible. Yeah, he compared an actual child predator to a Family Guy character. Then he makes the bright decision of mass reporting the Super Origami Kingdom subreddit created by Sophie simply because he didn't like how stuff was getting leaked on there. Afterwards, he apologizes for some sort of Reddit comment, which is where I assumed he was defending the crab. And instead of announcing that he's banned from the group, he instead says that he's gonna be facing the consequences and appear in less videos. And in reply to a comment below asking if Tamatoa was a predator, he says, unfortunately, he did, because actions can have consequences. But that was only before he got another chance to redeem himself. Just for the record, he's given another chance in the form of him apologizing to those people he wronged. And did he apologize? Of course he did. But frankly, he should have known what he did was not okay, and he shouldn't have done that in the first place. He may have made a mistake, but I can assure you that it won't happen again as the years go by. Behind the scenes is where things got a lot more heated, with members of the group pressuring James to actually do something rather than immediately mouth response. It was a comment I accidentally made when someone questioned me this. How the fuck do you accidentally make a comment defending a child predator? So I tried reasoning with this person, but Chad told me to delete the comment, which I did, but since it was on Reddit, Chad told me to make an apology by making a community post by promising to be more careful on the internet in the future. That's what's going on. The post was about my carelessness on the internet, and Chad advised me to be more careful about what I say in terms of responses. Can you really blame me for that? I don't. Then when someone insists that Tamatoa be removed from the group, one of the leaders, Chad Pearson, suggests, if you insist, we could set up a vote to remove him from the group if it would put you at ease. Are you serious? This is a major thing, and it requires the approval of a majority to get him removed. I'll set up the poll now. Yo, what? This is unbelievable! If someone is putting minors in danger, that's not a vote. That should be a removal. Or at minimum, and this is being nice, timed out, and I hesitate to even say that. Then this guy pings James asking him why he's dupe voting, which he replies, look, I'm literally shaking right now, so leave me out of this. And also in a reply to someone else, you're right, I've got responsibilities to do, and besides, I'm a grown man. I'm sorry that I'm a bit shaken or unstable. It's just this decision right here. As a grown man, you're meant to take responsibilities by dealing with this. This is common sense. Look, he's banned now. Also, raging in all caps doesn't make it any better. You kinda scared me right there. I'm very sensitive. Okay, now I get why the Omni King's video was made. And then when someone asks James if it's worth having a groomer as a friend, he replies, I guess not. You guess not? What do you mean you guess not? Then James goes to one of the now former members in DMs telling them to calm down and then repeating one of the comments he made earlier in the server. James, I have to ask, did you know about this for 2 years? Certainly not, until Cosmo told me that particular evidence earlier this year. Hold up. How many months ago? Since we're in November, it was 3 months ago. She told me that in my DMs. Then again, actions have consequences, I'm afraid. But now, I came to a realization that what Tamatoa did was unforgivable. You mean to tell me that you knew for 3 months and it took you until now to report this? Look, I was really unsure about this particular decision to kick him out permanently. Are you angry at me? Yes! Look, I don't know about things, okay? There are times where I'm not thinking clearly, which I clearly don't. So you're seriously implying that he doesn't deserve a redemption? Holy shit, this dumbass. Anyway, James, after being pressured, hesitantly removed Tamatoa from the group, but he continued to talk to him for at least less than 2 months on the Crab's Dead Discord server, even after all that. SOK would unlist every single video Tamatoa was involved in, even just by mention. And that was something James didn't even do, and was instead done by another one of the runners of the SOK after regaining control from an alleged coup that happened right around the time the lobster got outed. Yeah, that happened. So I do gotta say that I love how Niall is interpreted as this Palpatine-like hidden force behind many of SOK's decisions. Good DD6. Good. Kill him. And after being removed, Tamatoa would release this god-awful apology video where, while he admits to everything, he also admits both that he only now realized his mistake after watching some videos about predators.
I realized how bad it was doing this after watching some of the videos of the dangers of being dirty towards minors.
And that he waited until now to apologize because he wasn't initially caught, which is like, why the fuck would you say this in an apology video, dude?
There was another reason why I hadn't apologized sooner. It was because I wasn't exposed 2 years ago. If I was exposed 2 years ago, then I would have made this sooner.
He also lies about his friends not defending his actions.
For the record, my friends have never defended me for my actions.
No, some of them were initially backing you up and were pretty open about it too. Not just James, but Astro Boy and Jason Gomez were also in the comments of the initial upload taking his side. Tamatoa then acts like him no longer making Mami Tomoe his waifu is this earth-shattering news.
This is gonna be shocking to most of you out there who watch my videos, but this is my rightful decision to make. I no longer have Mami Tomoe as my fictional crush.
And then says he's gonna stay away from YouTube for a while, only for him to delete his channel not long after. There was a document in the description both in the original upload and re-upload, but it doesn't look like it's been archived, but from what I've heard it's just a video script. Allegedly, he later tried to dox and take someone's identity just for talking smack. No notes. I'm also gonna throw this in because I just really feel the need to bring this up. Sometime later, James was interrogated about the whole Tamatoa thing, where he said the following. Firstly, he says that while he knew about what Tamatoa did, and knew Sophie was one of the victims, he thought it was a minor mistake until he realized that it wasn't. Secondly, he believed in this wild conspiracy that both Sophie and Doge were lying about their age, all because someone by the name of Hydra Spectre told him it was the case, which is a complete lie, but even if it wasn't, I don't know how it would make T look any better. And lastly, he says that anybody who is friends with the crab is a PO supporter, which, yes, that's true, but I don't think you have room to talk here. I'd also like to mention that in the interrogation, he misgenders Hydra on purpose, and he also says that anyone who thinks he's obsessed with Rosalina is an idiot, while at the same time talking about how much he has a crush on her. He's not very intelligent. Now, just so we're all aware, these are the same guys who got all up in arms when kids younger than them called them mean names. To them, it's the most evil thing in the world when kids call them heartless. It's diabolical when they say that SOK's videos are bad. They are worse than Satan when they call them cringe. It's unforgivable when they act like immature heads. And it's worth hour-long rant videos with the most extreme punishments imaginable, all because some child plastered crying emojis onto their faces. But the moment someone in the group is outed as a groomer who has preyed on children, suddenly it's all, oh, it's not a big deal, we forgive him, he deserves a redemption arc, he's not any worse than Quagmire from Family Guy. Holy shit, this is actually pissing me off. I know you guys aren't experienced enough in life to understand, but here's something you might want to know. The moment someone is out as a groomer and or pedo, then that's it. They're done. It is literally impossible for them to come back from it unless you let them, which you'd have to be huffing some serious glue to do so. And guess what? That's what you guys tried to do, but had to backtrack all because you were told that maybe it's not such a good idea to try and keep a groomer in your group, especially when you have minors on board. What doesn't make it any better is that they used to have an editor by the name of Zach Goes Red, who also turned out to be a creep, and while you guys did fire him, it was only because he was too depressed and not because of his previous behavior. Though it is up in the air on whether or not they knew about it prior to his firing, but you get the point. While I've said everything about Tamatoa, there's someone I nearly forgot to bring up, which is Hydra Spectre. Hydra is the one who was a die-hard defender of SOK. She would go to lengths to protect the group, even though she did all to, and her reason is that the Origami Kingdom members were there for her when she was dealing with her toxic family, calling the group her found family. She would release a statement on the Super Origami Kingdom subreddit nearly 2 months after Tamatoa got booted, mostly about how the group was there for her when she needed it and she wants to protect it, yeah, where she then proceeds to close it off with this. I know what you're all doing. Stalking us and leaking info from us. You are all doing the same things that we at SOK have moved on for long now. Stalking us, harassing us, celebrating the hardships we face. When I see the anti-SOK community here, I see what the SOK has long since moved past from. Have you? I see the remnants of SOK's past toxicity and past mistakes. Now, look at yourselves in the mirror. You attack, expose, berate, make fun of, harass, and bully the Super Origami Kingdom the very same way the Super Origami Kingdom of the past attacked, exposed, berated, made fun of, harassed, and bullied the Omni Kings. Y'all gave shit to the Omni Kings because they were calling you mean names. You guys on the other hand are getting shit because most of you are f***ing insane. You are being very hypocritical, and I hope you are all aware. I know some of you have a strong sense of justice and didn't like seeing those children bullied. I feel the same. But some of us are also minors. They realize the errors of their ways. Most of the bad decisions were from older members of the group. Yet you refuse to move on from our past mistakes. You motherfuckers tried sweeping for a predator with kids in the server. Some of us are very socially and emotionally sensitive. Your constant harassment is causing many of us to have our mental health worsen. At times, I often feel the exact same feelings my fellow members have been feeling, and I often felt even more anxious. Okay, how do you think Sophie and Doge Queen felt when you tried spreading a rumor that they lied about their age? Until now that I have a newfound sense of bravery, I hope you soon realize the error of your ways, and how you are not so different from our worst past versions. I hope you can be redeemed. Around this time, Hydra tried becoming a moderator for Deborah Dork's now dead subreddit to do God knows what, and 7 months later she would become friends with someone who was 17 while she was 23, and tried asking for pictures of her new clothes even after she was told to stop. Yeah, even after the Tamatoa situation got kinda resolved, the effects were swifter than its removal. Many members either got booted or left on their own accord, and the channel's reputation took a nosedive. However, it's not what directly killed Super Origami Kingdom. There were already other forces at play beforehand. In April of 2023, commentary streamer Deborah Dork would cover James's videos on Family Guy, SML, and especially the Omni Kings rant, which caused him to do that fake-ass apology. And on a side note, if I'm not mistaken, Deborah Dork was the one that coined referring to certain autistic people on the internet as users. Eventually, SOK would become a common topic with Claw, as their videos frequently appeared on his streams, and with how popular he was becoming, this also meant in turn that SOK was gaining attention, but for all the wrong reasons. Hell, they almost shut down due to the amount of bad publicity starting to grow. Now, coming from someone who is not a fan of Claw, as I think he says stuff I don't vibe with.
It was about poetry, actually, and it had trigger warnings, and I was just beside myself. I was like, this is literally a genre, this is a medium that is designed to make you feel emotions and sometimes negative ones. And you're gonna give me a f***ing trigger warning on a video about, I'm sorry, it is incredibly pathetic that the left has normalized this. It is just extraordinarily pathetic that a video about poetry needs to just have a little statement to make sure nobody feels bad. It is so f***ing pathetic. It is miserable. It is miserable. There was a time when I would like click off of every f***ing video I saw that had some, oh, this is a content warning if you feel icky about this stuff. And at a certain point I just was like, well, if I did that, I would have nobody left that I can watch. Everyone does that now. This is just what you do now. We have completely normalized being a little baby who can't handle words on the internet. And it's always with the excuse of like, well, but there's some people who are survivors of like, yeah, and I'm sorry, they also can't handle words on the internet. They probably should not be treated like this. They should probably have to learn to deal with words on the internet.
His criticisms toward SOK have been mostly valid, and the way members like James reacted to them only proved him right. He's been very antagonistic toward Claw just for harshly criticizing him, and acts so confused as to why he's being treated like a lolcow. Okay, listen. I'm no fan of lolcow culture either. I think in a lot of areas it's very harmful. It's cyberbullying, stalking, and outright cruelty disguised as a moral duty to hunt down evil people. Even if these lolcows are bad people, that doesn't justify jack squat. And like, I get put up with constant bullshit all the time just for being a bi-gender fluid artist with a weird voice who makes no apologies for how cringe they are, and talks about object shows for a living. I essentially triggered the amygdala of the worst kind of people you know. Wannabe edgy kids or middle-aged basement dwellers living off their mommy's credit card who are just one bad bite of Burger King away from an early grave. It's also why I try to keep a lower profile nowadays, because I just know the next time I say or do something idiotic, it's gonna catch the attention of some sort of crazy person. I've been open and vulnerable about it before, though nowadays I'm just kinda learning to live with it. Let's not kill ourselves, it's the goddamn internet. The sort of toxicity from lolcow and cringe culture is why I want to stay far away from becoming some sort of farmer, if you may. It's a level I'd rather not stoop to. Even using the term makes me feel ill. And I know people are gonna think I'm part of the problem by doing this video, and they're fair to think that. But I don't think constructive criticism should never be said all because of the possibility of it being roped in with the bad faith ones. Similar in vein to what I said earlier, you can make fun of somebody for being stupid and call them out for their garbage behavior without coming across as a dick. Sometimes the clown show writes itself without being provoked. And that's why I'm saying there's a reason someone like James is the butt of a joke. He cannot for the life of him take a second to read his surroundings and think about what he's doing, leading to moments like the ending of his Rosalina video where he crashed out at his subscribers over them asking where the next part of his Origami King musical is.
Stop asking me when the next act is coming! When we made other videos, some of you start to comment by saying when the next act is coming! That is really starting to annoy me! How many times do I have to go through this? Patience is a fucking virtue! Why won't you learn this? It feels like all you care about is if you keep asking me one more time, unless you're curious and concerned, you're gonna get blocked! You've been warned!
Not to mention when a small YouTuber by the name of Yizo made a video on the Family Guy rant, James proceeded to privately spit out death threats. Keep in mind, Yizo was a minor around this time. James later apologized, but it was far too late as his reputation had been further soured. Even worse is that the SOK subreddit would leak more messages inside the main Discord server, most of them being about James's giantess fetish, making the comments about Omni King Piplup's DeviantArt all the more ironic, and I can confirm that some of the messages feature him talking about this to a minor, solidifying Super Origami Kingdom as a dangerous space for children. Now that might be a stretch to say considering no illegal material was actually exchanged within the group, thank god. But these kinds of actions are something that teeters on actual criminal activity, even if it's not enough for a cyber tip to the FBI. And a refresher, they let unknown groomers stay on the server with kids in it. The leaks also revealed they had another user on the server by the name of Squirrel, who didn't actually contribute anything as far as I'm concerned, but they were their own person. I mean, if they had someone who called the Mario movie anti-woke, then why am I even shocked? For the next year, Super Origami Kingdom would just keep going. But in doing so, they basically stopped doing the yelling and screaming during the rants altogether, aka one of the only things that made them entertaining, stripping the channel into a plain bagel. They do videos on Skibbity Toilet, Transformers 1, Disney remakes, and even that shitty fake Megamind sequel, but they were nowhere near the heights of their early work. I get trying to adapt, but doing it like this, it just kinda became boring. James would also go on to rebrand from being Dogzine Dog 6 to Aster of Aether, with initially one of his new avatar art styles being straight up stolen from another artist without credit or permission. He would eventually get someone to actually draw new avatar stills for him though, but like, dude, come on. SOK, later rebranded to Super Origami Universe, operated in a rather dismal state for a while. Almost all of its personality was stripped from it, and just about half of its audience had stopped watching. It felt like they had just let go of the wheel but kept their foot on the gas pedal. They continued to drive until they reached their accepted fate. And accept their fate they did. Because on May 7th, 2025, after 4 years in business and 2 years of consideration, the Super Origami Universe would post this devastating news. After almost 4 years of creating content for you, the Super Origami universe has reached the end of its run on YouTube and is officially closing down. It has been in consideration for a long time coming, and now that our final in-progress projects have concluded, we all feel it's time to give this story closure and move on, officially ending the SOK/SOU saga in its entirety. We thank all of the members of SOU, past or present, for their positive contributions to the group and hope for all the best for you all. We would also like to apologize on behalf of the bad users who have done wrong under our brand name and hope that those affected are doing better. While the path of the Super Origami Kingdom/universe has been a bumpy road, we would like to thank the viewers who stuck with us through it all and those of you who believed in us when we started working to make better content. So thanks again to all the users out there who liked our videos, commented, and subscribed. As one user might say, may the stars shine down on you, M. Yeah, that sounds about right. The channel would release its final angry rant on July 31st, 2025, that being on the long-hated HBO Max animated series, Velma. Because of course they chose Velma. And in it was James, Jurassicverse, Chad Pearson, and a newbie by the name of Gigi Star. Gigi was just a fan before joining. She may have gotten some squabbles here and there, and I'm not sure how she even got in, but they just let her join for their last hurrah. Honestly feel bad for her because this would be the first and last time she would ever be featured with the group. She really sounded like she wanted to be there. They tried to replicate all the other previous Extreme Mega Killer rants on the channel, and also James for some reason turns into a fucking xenomorph, but it just wasn't the same. There was a missing spark that all the previous rants in their prime had that's hard to explain. It's kinda like Queen after Freddie Mercury died. Sure, the new replacement members are really good, but it feels like an imitation of the band they once were rather than a continuation of it. It's actually pretty sad to watch. At the end of the rant, they give all the characters in Velma their just desserts, with everyone afterwards jumping back into a portal and staying there, and thus marking the end of Super Origami Universe. Everyone from past and present has moved on to doing their own thing, or has just disappeared from the internet altogether. James in particular continues to upload to this day, with him going back to just doing his music mashups, and recently on New Year's, James would make a post ranting on cancel culture, declaring that he's never going back to his old ways, even with how angry the message reads, and downplays his old actions as just being an angry dickhead, which tells me everything I need to know and that he has learned absolutely nothing from all of this. Honestly, can't think of a better thing than to this story. Super Origami Kingdom is the kind of tale that was destined to end in a train wreck, and there's a reason the title says they deserve their downfall. I would be all like, oh, it's such a shame they went out too soon, they were so entertaining, and I kind of feel that way still. But after pulling shit like trying to protect the predator, running the place like a dump, and all the other whack shit with minors, I can't say I feel sorry for them. They really should have seen all this coming, to be frank. Now, to be nuanced here, I understand a little bit of your guys' perspective. Keyword, a little bit. I've been doing this channel for 2 years now, and with my big accomplishments, I've also made big mistakes, and it's caused some people to not vibe with me or my content. And yeah, I can definitely say I've embarrassed myself quite a bit along the way. I mean, I even look back at videos I made months ago like, wow, I kinda hate this. And you know, it happens. We're all real flesh and blood people at the end of the day, even if you don't believe it. We mess up, find ourselves in humiliating situations, big or small, all the time. What's important is that you learn from these mistakes, listen to criticism, and work to improve yourself. It's not that people like James, because I know he's watching this, made a mistake, it's that he made these mistakes and learned nothing from them, which is why at this point all of this is gonna be his legacy on the internet. If all you're doing is just bitching about how people make fun of you for your past instead of actually growing as a person, you're kinda doing it to yourself. You can't just post a picture of Bowser pointing at a sign that denounces every bad thing in the world and expect people to automatically forgive you. You can cry on camera, do a dance routine, play a ukulele, or do some Jake Paul-ass rap about how you're actually a good person and you're a victim of all these evil people vilifying you on the internet. Or you could just simply say sorry, but that's not ideal. You can do all of that, but it is not going to matter. This is going to follow you for the rest of your life. All of this is what you'll forever be known for, and you either own up to that, or never touch the internet again. Preferably the latter. I could end on a note where I submit you to some sort of big fiery punishment day where you're all subject to 3 levels of discipline, like getting swallowed by Bowser. Wait, you like that? Like getting blasted by Goku, blowing up your channel Death Star style, or just play a compilation of characters getting beat up and saying that's you guys while laughing and choking on Cocoa Brand Doritos as I watch. But honestly, I don't have to, because this entire video was the punishment. It's not reopening old wounds just to cancel you all, like there's no further damage I can do anymore. It's a lesson here. You can fixate on Mario and baby shows, act like you're a cartoon character, and make whatever videos you like. I don't care. But sometimes you need to snap back to reality, know when to shut the f up, and recognize that all of you are grown adults. Oh, and maybe stay 6 feet away from children. And that concludes the Super Origami Kingdom story.
Incest!
Might do some more Tumblr online reviews videos in the future, but for right now, I'd rather put my focus on content that I actually want my channel to be focused on. Again, this video kinda snowballed into something bigger than I thought, so hopefully you enjoyed it, because you'll never see something like this out of me ever again. Unless absolutely necessary, that is. So the moral of the story: if you ever see the crab on the internet again, literally report him. Boil the fuck out of him.